after I just watched Aaron talking about the current situations going on. And I want to say that number one, without kissing up too much, that I really agree with Aaron's take. And, I was thinking of making this, and I actually stopped because I saw Aaron was on live. And I was like, let me see what he has to say. And he was saying just what I thought. Starting off with, I love DOA. Don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on, but there is no personal animosity, personal criticism, or whatever. It's, but that's not the main point here. That's not the main thing that I really want to talk about. Um, but let's just get it clear right from the beginning. DOA has fulfilled an amazing role, and he, is a force of nature, and he made things happen that wouldn't. Hey, Gypsy, Lisa, he made things happen that wouldn't have happened otherwise. Positive, maybe negative. Hi, Lupe. Um, but, it takes those forces of nature to have things go down in our world. And so, anyway, I have a lot of respect for him. But my main point today is that, like it says in the title, and I did the ideogram for the thumbnail, and tried to describe myself a little bit. Hopefully, I'm a little better looking than the dude in the picture, but we'll see. That's personal taste. But anyway, the issue here is that while Scientology might be licking their lips and thinking they got a big win on the boards, um, they they don't. Okay. They might think that we're all demoralized, we're going to go away, and this is the end. And those of you who think that all of this Scientology protesting is over now because of a little bit of drama or a shutdown occupation, let's remember there was no occupation a couple weeks ago, and there had been no occupation. We don't require an occupation to bring public awareness to the cult of Scientology. Not necessary at all. A fun thing, a nice way to show Scientology what can be done, a nice way to show the impotence of the cult up against public opinion and so forth. But like my friend Eric Rader always says, there's a very limited amount of stuff we can do at Big Blue, because Big Blue is one of those places where the most dedicated, the most brainwashed people in the cult of Scientology congregate. So, like Eric was always saying, you're not going to really have as much of an impact on L. Ron Hubbard Way and Big Blue surrounding areas as in the smaller orgs, for example. It's possible that the least productive places that we can protest are Clearwater and Los Angeles. Now, if they open up the Hollywood Testing Center again, if they try to get people out on the streets body routing again, it's going to start a whole new wave. And I think they know that. Okay. So in case you think Scientology is just doing some mega victory lap right now, which they probably are, um, yeah, the test center is shut down. That's the hugest thing ever. And not only is the testing center shut down, they're shut down everywhere, whether they call it a testing center or an org. But body routing is close to non existent these days. And considering that that's one of the only ways, probably the most effective ways to get people into Scientology, and that seemingly is according to the big boss himself, um, the other efforts, phone calls, mailings, Scientology TV, all that stuff is an abject failure. And so the idea that we're failing because of some drama and because of a shutdown occupation, which we did voluntarily after losing our leader, the leader of the occupation, not our leader. Let me correct that. So that's right, we're kicking ass. And we don't even need to go near Scientology to kick ass. We don't even need to be in the vicinity, as Eric and I have shown. Putting flyers up in areas where there is no Scientology presence is a very productive, although something that you don't necessarily see the results right away. But in terms of raising the level of consciousness around the cult, it's invaluable. Remember, the people who live in the neighborhoods where Scientology exists, these people already have opinions about Scientology, mainly negative. And if they're positive, we're probably not going to change it with a bunch of horn honking and noise. We might change it the other way. I mean, some of those neighbors by Big Blue were really getting pissed off by all the horns honking 24/7. And you can't blame them. I wouldn't like it if I lived right there. But, then again, we're not going to stop the cars from honking their horns. That's not going to happen. So it's a hard thing. But anyway, DOA made an invaluable contribution. And I don't think, anybody really started this thinking that DOA was not a passionate, volatile dude. Yeah, he is. And, that's kind of what is needed in certain moments. It's not my temperament, but like I've said before, the genius theory of Eric Rader, the WASP theory that I will go back to over and over. Yeah, ups and downs have and will happen, and they'll keep happening. But the fact is, we're up, Scientology's down. And if we're all going to get mortally wounded by a little drama and so-called setbacks, imagine what it is for them to have to use curtain tech and frosted windows and shut themselves off to the public that they need to get predatory on if they are going to survive as a cult. Okay, their setbacks are a million times more intense than ours. Their setbacks mean that they are going through tunnels instead of walking across the street for months at a time. How humiliating is that for them to have to hide from the public for months at a time out of fear of being spotted. How humiliating is it for them to have to run away at the sight of anybody with a phone that's filming them? I mean, that's not confronting and shattering suppression. Hey, Portland. Um, Melody, hi. Um, Scientology's losing. We are winning. If there's a little setback, I mean, whatever. What did you think was going to happen? Um, and okay, so let's say DOA is a little paranoid. Okay, I'll accept that. I bet DOA would accept that too. Okay. Um, and I don't think he necessarily has any negative intentions. I think he might be running on exhaustion and fear and who knows what. I don't know what's going on. I don't blame him. Okay. I don't agree with everything, but I'm not blaming him. Okay. I don't have that much energy to make all that stuff happen. Okay. And I'm not as volatile in certain ways. Um, and so you're not going to get me um, dumping on him. You'll get me disagreeing with certain tactics or certain things, whatever. I think there's some paranoia going on that, I would love to talk him out of if I could. And he can always email me and we can connect. But that's not my job and that's not my expectation that he would do that. Okay. I want him to know there's no opposition from my side, but there might be critiques. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, all jail time, swatting, I mean, when you just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. Yeah, it's just that this paranoia is kind of going after the people that are not after him. And I agree. I agree, Adrian. It's about exhaustion. And like I say, we don't have to be at Scientology to protest Scientology. We don't have to be at a Scientology location to educate the public. I mean, look at how much Aaron has done with his channel with and he only protested out on the streets long after he had done probably hundreds of videos on YouTube. Um, he achieved more than most of us, if not all of us put together. I mean, I wouldn't say that, but like what Streets did, if he didn't have Aaron's backing, and Aaron, I don't mean backing this, but I mean promotion and telling the world what was going on and telling people that are into um, right. We don't need any one person because we're not a group. Now, that's one thing where I think DOA, understandably, because he's trying to get some quality control in the situation. And so he started thinking of it as a group and who's in and who's out and whatever. Hi, KT. And so I think we got the lines blurred around this idea of are we all independent people doing whatever the hell we want, coming together, you know, in a kind of random way, like see you when I see you, out in front of Scientology, whatever. But otherwise, we all have our things. There's not that much coordination. Now, if you're going to do a big sit-in, an occupation, whatever, you're going to have some type of coordination. And with all us wackos, you trying to herd, it's herding cats. Okay. And, so try to get us all together. It's probably not going to work. Okay. Because we all have our methods, we all have our different temperaments, and we all have different philosophies about how to get this done. It's normal. It's fine. You think Scientology is not more dysfunctional than us? Think about it. Scientology is 100% dysfunctional because no matter what, herding cats in Xenu glasses, um, well, the legality of the dirt boxes, um, you parked there and your passenger was unable to open the door. Call 311. Complain to the city. I am not a legal beagle eagle dude here, but I think something can be done about that. But let's not worry about them putting trees up on the street. We have made our point. They have had to go to ridiculous lengths to and showing their fear of us. Okay, that's what they did. They showed their fear. They made this ridiculous children's event that was practically unattended for 9 days, just so they wouldn't have to deal with us. You were issued a lowrider, Chichigana. Yeah. Morale in Scientology, believe me, is far lower than with us. And that's all that really matters. Okay. I think that we're gonna get to these stages where we have to kind of rethink what's going on and reimagine things. But again, since we are wasps out of the hive, coming at Scientology from different directions is key. And when we see a certain direction of attack working better than others, then we can copy each other. We can copy what works. And hello, fellow Scorpio. Yes. Well, we'll all be back to Big Blue, and that'll happen. But I want us to get to the point where we're not so focused on Big Blue, because we have to think. For example, like Eric's first point was, he hung out there for a month, putting up flyers all the time, and those flyers lasted a few hours, depending. Okay, Scientology sent people to take the flyers down, and then more flyers would go up and they'd be ripped down. And the point was, the entire neighborhood around Big Blue knows the deal. All we really need at Big Blue are people showing up randomly, filming, and letting them know that we could show up at any random time. It's totally unpredictable. Yeah, Easter was great. I really enjoyed that. I agree with you, KT. And it's nice to have a place to gather. But the thing is, remember, we have Hollywood Boulevard. We have the Hollywood Testing Center out there. Even if it's closed down, we have people walking by. We don't even have to stand right by where they're blasting their music out the front door. It doesn't matter because that area is pretty much blocked off to the public anyway. You can't see in, you can't see out. They're hiding inside. We can get a great shot down the block with the whole Scientology sign in the background. We can hand out flyers to people. This is something I'm going to be doing in the future. And we can be talking to people from all over the world about Scientology. Okay? So this is something Scientology Media Productions, not so sure, Gina. It's kind of like it's not a very well trafficked area of Sunset Boulevard. Supposedly David Miscavige lives there, but he probably doesn't live anywhere, you know, all the time. And so, yeah, I think it's worth a try. You know, for example, there's the Scientology whatever museum, human rights bullshit organization over on Sunset Boulevard. I went there once. I saw one Scientologist walking between buildings and kind of hurrying to not be filmed. But there's not much to see. Um, I think one of our main points of focus right now needs to be the public, um, the general public. And the thing is, on Hollywood Boulevard, we have tourists that are coming from all over the world. They're coming from all over the United States as well. And they're walking right by the Scientology building. Yeah, it would Gina, it would maybe piss off David Miscavige that he lives there and now there are protesters and whatever, but he's not going to stay there for long. I mean, he can go to any Scientology location on Earth and any hotel, anything on Earth. You know, he has billions of dollars behind him, so I don't think we're going to interpolate him that badly if we just go to there on Sunset Boulevard where nobody walks by. Um, yeah, I've done flyering in papers as well. Um, right, he might just be chilling somewhere. Exactly. Quirk. Yeah, we're a community, not a group, and we work on many different levels, and that's the best way to do it. Okay, some people. I mean, one thing is we need to find body routers wherever they are. That's number one. If there is body routing going on, we need to alert the public. In fact, Marisker, maybe I'm not trying to pup groomer. Hey, um, not trying to assign work to anybody, but I think a nice poster that talked about what is body routing or beware of the body routers or whatever. If we could kind of hand out a flyer, um, that's what I think I might design one, just print it up myself. But if we can hand out a flyer on Hollywood Boulevard that says, watch out for Scientology body routers. No, paranoia does not mean they're not after you. They are definitely after us. I'm not saying like DOA is 100% paranoid and he has no points to make and there are. Look, we have to assume that there are Yeah, let's do that, Marisker. I hate to say bitch, to a cool dude, but you're the one that made up the name. I hold back on that one. Um, Asking about what certain items meant. Okay, cool. Um, Body snatchers, yeah. Uh-oh, Chi, now you got me all curious. You put in a message and redacted it. Um, you think it's hilarious. Okay, bitch. Well, I'll do it then. It's just right. Well, okay. People don't know what a body router is. Maybe we should say body snatcher, and underneath, Scientology calls them body routers or something. Beware of the body snatchers. Beware of Scientology body snatchers, something like that. Um, and then under that, like protect your children and something like that. But yeah, so yeah, that would be funny. Right, just or yeah, like that glossary idea. We could do like Scientology term of the day, and each flyer could have, one or two or three or whatever Scientology terms with, actually, I could get Chat GPT to just line that right up. But anyway, we get a Scientology term, then maybe we could get like the real word, and then maybe we could get the definition or something. But we got to make it simple. Um, oh, you could do double-sided too. Okay, yeah. I think handouts on Hollywood Boulevard could be amazing. Beware of Scientology, public service. We're here to protect you from the cult. But the thing is, the way I look at it, Rib Girl, okay, well, we don't need an encampment. We can do all different stuff. But if you want to come over and make an encampment, please do. I'll come and eat your ribs, not a problem. But the thing is, if we are out there influencing actual people more than Scientology ever does. We're already doing that, okay? But I think we're beating a dead horse at Big Blue. The main thing that we can do at Big Blue is to just show up and let them know that we're going to be there whenever. And you can't predict it, and you can't necessarily come above ground and stop using your tunnels, because we could show up with a camera at any time. And when we do, they run for it. Like they run like somebody's coming with, you know what, that I'm not going to say here. Well, they don't need to take the flyers. We could just offer the flyers, and if they don't want them, we're not trying to hand a flyer to every single person. That's not the way I would do it, at least. What I would do is say, if you'd like more information on the dangers of the cult of Scientology, and then we'll have the whole Scientology sign on the testing center. It's a vertical sign, and we'll have that as our nice background. And we do it as a public service, as a warning. The thing is, what we got to think about, and what I always think about when I'm on Hollywood Boulevard, is that people on Hollywood Boulevard are enjoying a tourist experience. Okay, this is a big deal for people. It's like going to the Eiffel Tower or whatever. And, it's a big deal. And when you go home from a vacation like that, and you want to tell people what you did, what you saw, and who you talked to, most tourists, they hang out in a group, they go do sightseeing, they don't necessarily have a lot of interaction with the locals because they might if they're one or two people together, but if it's a family or whatever, they're kind of together doing all of their tourist stuff and then they go home. So any conversation with a local that tells them a story about local stuff going on, and especially tells them about sptv.space, tells them about all of these protesters, and they can go home and they can turn on these channels and they can show their friends back in Blugoblavia, like hey, I met that guy. Yeah, he told me about Scientology. Did you know? Da, 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 da. Okay, down the line. And here's the brochure they gave me. Here's the flyer they gave me. And, a certain amount of those people, and for free, unlike Scientology, exactly. For certain people, it's going to be the most interesting thing that happened on their vacation. That they learned about Scientology. That they got hooked up with this. Maybe they even start protesting their local Scientology org back in Stuttgart or Copenhagen or wherever. And maybe we direct them to that org. And even if they're not going to protest it or whatever, we just say, hey, could you go to your local org and shoot 5 minutes of video about how slow it is and how dead it is, and maybe walk in with filming and then have them kick you out and trespass you, and then just walk in saying, you don't mind if I film in here, do you? And then film it, send it to one of us, we'll put it up on our channel, we'll make you a star. All right? Deal? But we can get this participation. We can get involvement with people from all over the world. And like I'm saying, this might be the only person. My nose does look better after my evil cat attack. You wouldn't believe how much blood came off. My little kitten, 2 months old, this big, scratched it in a most evil, conspiratorial way. And I mean, it just kept bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. Okay. I grew up in a medical family. We talked about blood and stuff at the dinner table while we're chewing our food. So I don't realize how sensitive people get to certain topics, and I could just go on and on. But I won't. So anyway, but when you're a tourist and you have one cool conversation with somebody, they're the best. Cats are awesome. Then when you have that one conversation with somebody when you were traveling around, that becomes one of the most memorable parts of the trip. Oh, I went to Key West and I went to this bar and I hung out all afternoon, and then there was this one guy that was telling fishing stories. He really, like, he was born and raised there, and told me the time when he fell into that school of sharks and barely made it back onto the boat, and what, you're going to go back to your village, your country, your wherever you came from. And that's going to be one of the biggest stories that you tell about your trip. Well, let's make the tourists to Hollywood have the biggest story of their trip to Hollywood as they learned about Scientology. They learned about the protests. They learned that, oh, wow, there's one, in our area. Let's go look at it. The guy there in Hollywood said, go there. It'll be dead. It'll be totally dead. Can you film me a few minutes? Send me the video so that we can post it. And then, you know, and then people can get famous. We'll put them on our channels, showing dead orgs in places we never heard of. Now, tell me that that's not going to impact Scientology just as much as yelling at some totally brainwashed Sea Org person that's not going to leave no matter what you say. Okay? We want to spread the word. When Eric and I go put flyers all over town, we're doing it so that people outside of Scientology areas can start thinking about Scientology, can start Googling and watching videos and going to sptv.space every day, ideally, and seeing who's live streaming and following that live stream. That's what we want. We want to spread the word. We want to inoculate the world against Scientology. Okay, let's say nobody ever leaves Scientology. That's not going to happen. But let's say we have no ability to make anybody quit. We have no ability to make anybody leave Scientology ever. Let's say that. But let's say we do have an ability to cut off future members, that we have an ability to stop recruitment. Well, if that is the case, and it practically already is the case, Scientology recruitment is dead. Scientology does not recruit enough people, in my estimation, a very rough estimation, to pay the electric bill, let alone pay staff or anybody else. They have no recruitment practically. Yeah, they have somebody coming in buying a damn Dianetics book for $85. Sure. They have somebody coming in because they found them online and they took a personality test and they went in to get their score and then they got hammered into some deal. But like Eric was telling me months ago, for everybody that goes in and takes one class or whatever, first of all, a lot of people that go in for the personality test, they sign up for a Scientology class and they pay for it and they leave and they don't even show up to take the damn class. They're just giving them money so they can get out of there, so they can end the sales session. Okay, that's all they're doing. So a lot of people leave, they've given some money, but they're not coming back. Okay, and then a certain amount of people what happens is they do take the class and they don't want to take another one. And then Scientology keeps bugging them, and then they run away like you'd run away from a used car dealer trying to sell you a shitty car with high pressure sales. Okay? With high pressure sales, have you ever been in high pressure sales? Have you ever folded and actually bought something you didn't want to buy? Well, here's the thing with that. If you do that, if you buy something you don't want to buy, because of the high pressure sales, chances are you're not coming back to endure more high pressure sales. Chances are you're not doing that ever. You learn your lesson and you stay away from these people forever. That's what happens. Um, Thank you, Gerald. Um, so, um, Hi, Whippet Lover. Evil Blue Eye, you did that until you stopped being a people pleaser. Yeah. Well, the thing is that um, certain people will do that. Certain people will capitulate and they will give up some money just to make them shut up. That will happen. But if they do that, they're not coming back. Thank you, Happy Peony. We are here. Yeah. Um, Look, DOA is going through some hard times. Um, and, when you put this much energy and dedication that DOA did behind these protests, and then you get in this situation where you can't even go anywhere near the place, um, it's almost like an identity crisis. Like, what am I going to do now? I can't go there. I can't go there. Um, and so, you got to do something. And then you have this cumulative stress of police, Scientology, not knowing who is a spy. Because somebody's a spy. I'm not saying nobody's a spy, right? I'm not saying nobody, that Scientology doesn't try to send people to infiltrate. I'm sure they do. That is to be expected. The thing is, I think, to realize, number one, we don't have a conspiracy that they can spy on and find out the secret. We don't really have a lot of secrets. So what the hell are they going to spy on? Like, see you tomorrow at 6? And then we show up tomorrow at 6 and they're like, ha ha ha, we knew in advance that you showed up. So what? Right? As long as we are independent wasps with independent stingers, what the hell are you going to spy on? Okay, if you yeah, if Scientology stands tall, we definitely stand much taller than that. Right? So I'm not worried about Scientology spying. My opinion is if we do this, we know that Scientology has an Office of Special Affairs that is dedicated to messing with anybody that messes with Scientology. Okay? If you have any education on this matter whatsoever, you know that. That is not up for dispute. Okay? It's an undisputed rule of Scientology protesting. Okay? So finding out who you are is not hard for Scientology to do, and that should be expected. That's number one. So the only other thing to spy on is if you are a group making group plans that are secret. Okay, DOA told me about the occupation the week before and told me in confidence, and I did not share it. But I went home that day and watched Aaron, and Aaron was alluding to it. He didn't say what it was, but he knew it was coming. He knew that Scientology knew it was coming. DOA knew that Scientology knew, but he thought that Scientology thought that it was going to happen on L. Ron Hubbard Way, and so the big surprise was that it was going to happen on Fountain Avenue. Okay, but like that's about the only secret that I have ever been involved in these protests that a Scientology spy could even do anything with. And they already knew. So what? Okay. How can you spy on somebody that is filming themselves all the time and putting it up for worldwide distribution on YouTube? Hi, Jesper. Um, Make sure you like. Oh, like Sharon? I like, share, and subscribe. Okay, that's funny. So your autocorrect put share and whatever made it Sharon. Interesting. Yes, please do like, share, and subscribe. Make me happy. Okay, so we don't need to worry about spies unless we are plotting illegal activities, and we are not. We don't need to worry about spies if we know that Scientology is definitely spying anyway. Okay, it's baked into the deal. We don't need to worry about spies if we are pretty public about what we're doing. We are not doing anything illegal. We are not plotting to do anything illegal. And I'm not making that argument like, well, if you don't do anything wrong, you got nothing to fear and let the government eavesdrop. No, 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 no. Okay. But I am saying, what the hell could they find out? If they don't know somebody's name, they can find it. If they don't know somebody's address, they can find it. If Scientology wants to mess with you, they have billions of dollars to spend on private detectives. They got the cops in their pocket. They have their ways. And if you start protesting against Scientology, you better know that from day one. Yeah, they have more cameras with audio and visual than Fox News. Your autocorrect is out of control there, KT. Fox, what did it say? Fox, Fort. No, sorry. I thought you said Fox News. See, there's my dyslexia. Didn't even know I had dyslexia. Fort Knox. I changed it into Fox News, and then thought that your thing made it wrong. Okay, my eyeballs are the problem, not you, and not your autocorrect. Anyway, so I don't think we need to worry too much about spies. Okay. For one thing, Scientology is really obvious. Um, Look, Scientology has a now I'm spacing out on the words, but Scientology has a dirty tricks department with the fair game. Okay, sorry, that's an easy one. I should have that right on the tip of my tongue. Scientology fair game is you can do whatever you want to mess with any SP. Well, guess what we are? SPTV. And so they are, I mean, if you're going to protest against Scientology and you don't know about fair game, then you're a dumbass and you haven't done your research. And DOA is not that kind of dumbass, and he's not a dumbass at all. Okay. And, he knows about fair game. And so do all of us. Okay. We might not all be equally informed about the minute details of fair game. Fine. But we all know the deal. Okay. We're not little, ignorant, vulnerable little puppy dogs here in this fight. But we don't need to go after each other. And I would really like to appeal to everybody not to do that. Okay? If you don't like somebody, don't give them energy and attention. And if I hated DOA, I wouldn't even mention his name. Okay? I love DOA. I'm inspired by DOA. And I'm also grown up enough to know that we all have faults and that we all have issues and we all have emotions. And unlike a clear Scientologist, some of us still do have a reactive mind. And it's not a reactive mind, it's emotions. We're emotional people. It's beautiful. It's fine. Okay? One thing I'll tell you about DOA, he has the ability to apologize. Unlike many people, I have seen DOA go off, get irrational, get pissed off, but he has the ability, and I've seen him do it many times, where he has the self-awareness and the ability to apologize after he has an outburst. Okay? And, so that makes me think deep down, DOA is a good guy. Okay? Deep down, none of these people have evil intentions. Yeah, maybe there's a Scientology spy. Like I said, we should assume that, and we shouldn't get blown away by that, and we shouldn't even pay it that much attention. I look at a Scientology spy as the lamest of the lame amongst the cult members. I also look at a Scientology spy as probably somebody who could be talked out of Scientology. Yeah, well, unity is important, but unity and diversity together. Okay, so one thing is, if we try to herd this group of cats, it's not going to work. It's going to create some chaos. Yeah, please hit the like. Thanks, new name. Um, it's like a married couple. Yeah. Yeah, you're individuals, you have your loyalty, you have your love, all of that. Yeah, point the finger at the cult, not at each other. Okay. Now, I understand for DOA going through an emotional thing and being ripped away from the places, where he would want to protest. And it is his livelihood and all of that. And he put out a lot of money, even if it came from others, whatever. He could have kept it all. He didn't have to put it out for this. He put out even more energy than money. And there's this thing, for example, where, like when somebody is, like when a rock star is playing a concert? Why do they do so many drugs? Because one reason is that they are um, one reason that rock stars do a lot of drugs is like they go out, they do a show, it's like it's this high energy thing. They got thousands of people screaming and clapping and yelling and singing along and all of that. And when the concert's over, they go and sit in the green room, and it's like boom. It's like you went from 1,000 to zero all at once. So you want to continue the party, right? You want to keep things going. Okay, it's hard to come down from that height. Okay, so imagine DOAs working for months and months and months and not getting sleep and sleeping in a van and being uncomfortable and all, making a lot of sacrifice, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, done. And there's all this energy that needs to go somewhere, okay? And then there may be some pre-existing conditions, whatever, some emotional issues, whatever. I'm not going to diagnose the dude, okay? But that energy has to go somewhere. And then there is fear. There is paranoia. Understandably, but I would disagree by how it was exhibited, regulated, whatever. Okay? The fact is, nothing, I'll not get away with this. Who will not get away with this? AI girl. The fact is, DOA made an invaluable contribution. And I respect that contribution, and I respect him. But there are things that are divisive and that feel paranoid. And I think that, I wouldn't tell him what to do, but if I were him, I'd just take a break, just go radio silent, sit, smoke some weed, meditate on the desert if that's where he still is, and just clear out the energy, soak in a mountain stream, whatever, and and come back ready for more. And so anyway, I'm sending love to that dude. And asking everybody, let's not have a bunch of drama. Let's not have a bunch of accusations. Let's not even worry about who's a spy. Let's assume there are spies and not worry about it. Because what are you going to spy on? Like, really, what are you going to spy on? Okay, you spy on me? What are you going to get? You're going to get my whatever info. I really got nothing to hide. Okay. You're going to know that Eric and I go put up flyers. Okay. But you're not going to know where or when or whatever. That's just Eric and me. So, we're not getting locations from a committee. It's Eric and me talking about, hey, where do you want to go put up flyers? And then we do it. So who could spy on that? Even if they were listening to our phone calls, it wouldn't matter because we're still going to go put up the flyers. And the most they could do is allocate resources to tapping phones and following us around LA and ripping down the flyers as soon as we put them up. So you want to do that? Like Eric said, if Scientology would follow our streams and geolocate our flyers and go after them and pull them all down, that would be the best thing That would be the best thing that could happen. If Scientology would start driving around LA, hey Keith, um, and trying to find our flyers to take them down, please do. Because you're going to have a lot of driving. And what are you going to do? You're going to send Sea Org people out into Freedom Land? So how many Sea Org people are you going to send out there? You're going to send 2? You're going to send 3? You know, the East German border guards, when they were at their towers where they would shoot people trying to leave East Germany, they always had 3 guards. That way, 2 of them couldn't get together and plot to escape. So you have 3, and you keep rotating everybody around so nobody becomes friends. So if Scientology sent the Sea Org out to tear down our flyers, they would need to put 3 people together in a car, send them out for hours around LA. Even Schultz gave into Hogan's Heroes exactly. Total proof, evidence. So if they use those resources, and then you know what, these Sea Org guys, they Sea Org people, not all guys, but they're out in the free world looking at free people all day long. And maybe they're going to take a moment to lollygag somewhere. Maybe they're going to chat up somebody that they find attractive. You know, all of the temptations of the world will be out there for those Sea Org people looking for those flyers. And they're not going to find all the flyers where we put them. There is no way on earth, because we have put these flyers at random locations all over LA and the Valley. I mean, they're not going to get our flyers, okay? But even if they did, please do. Then you go get the flyer, you read the flyer, you know. Look, Scientology's not going to make it. You think that we're all messed up and disheveled and in the midst of drama? Imagine going in Big Blue, or any Scientology location. Do you understand? Scientologists are expected to constantly improve. That means constantly bring more and more people into Scientology every week, more than last week. Yeah, when did that happen last? I think it's been a while. Ask your neighbor to pack it up. Okay. Right. Scientology has been on a downward trajectory for 20 years. And right now, what's happening with Scientology is unprecedented. If everybody in Los Angeles and Clearwater quit protesting right now and forever, but all the other SPTV channels continued in Austin, Denver, Portland, Chicago, New York, Cincinnati, wherever, Copenhagen, Stockholm, in various locations in Germany, whatever. Junior Mismanaged joining me? You mean the kitty? That'll probably happen. But again, I defer to Eric because Eric was in Scientology, so he knows the psychology from the inside. Okay, the smaller orgs are the key. My daughter, I'm not putting her on this. No, we got to keep some anonymity for that, ideally. Um, if all the small orgs, first of all, they need to know that all the other ones are just as dead as them, just as empty as them. If you are near a small org and you don't mind pulling out your camera, taking a little footage, send it to me, davymismanage@protonmail.com. It's in the links on the channel page. Okay? Say to them, if you see a Scientologist outside of their building, not hiding, not cowering in fear, say to them, hey, don't feel bad. All the other orgs are empty too. It's not just you. Okay? Can you remember that? Say that to them. Hey, you guys, don't feel so bad about your empty org. All the other orgs are empty too. They tell you it's going better, in Austin and Chicago, and they just had these amazing grand openings in Paris, and oh my God, they're breaking all the records. It's amazing. They might have 2 or 3 people a day if they're lucky at any of these places. If they have 10, David Miscavige is hearing about it and jumping up and down in glee. So, but here's the thing. Starting a local Scientology mission so you can protest it. Yeah, well, that's kind of the long way around the block, but do it. Do it. What could go wrong? At least you know the best way to interbulate yourself. So here's the thing. Scientology and Scientologists are under extreme pressure. Okay? And right now, they're probably doing a big victory lap. Good. Good. Because you know what hurts more than anything is to think the pressure's gone, to think you're in the clear, and then you're back in the shit worse than ever. Okay? It's more demoralizing to think you won. I mean, imagine this. You're running a race, and for whatever reason, you think you won the race. And then you're told, no, everybody lapped you. You're actually in last place. That's harder to deal with psychologically than if you just lost the race and you're running in last place the whole time and you're like, oh shit, these people are faster than me. But to think that you won the race and jumping up and down and cheering and whatever, while the whole audience is looking at you like, huh? And then to be told, no, you didn't. They all cry into their bowls of hot dog water every night. Yeah, because that's the only salt that they get in their little protein water. So, yeah. Don't feel bad. You're failing just as much as all the other orgs. Exactly. You know? Oh my God, what was the don't feel bad thing? Okay, I got to think of it, but Um, yeah, there's a bad one that there's a story I have, but I won't go there. Um, yeah, that's that awesome bitch Brisker. That's going to be on a flyer. Don't feel bad. All the other orgs are failing too, or however you stated it. You're failing just as much as all the other orgs. Yeah. Um, everybody's, all the orgs are failing. Big Blue is failing. But Big Blue gets people from all over the world. Clearwater gets people from all over the world to come in and to do courses. And so they can all get together and act like they're in a real organization. Cool, right? And they can delude themselves temporarily. But in the end, everybody knows the deal. Okay? The hip hip hoorays are getting shallower. They're getting, less convincing. And so they can't keep bullshitting themselves forever. Okay? And people are exiting Scientology far more than joining as new recruits, new victims, fresh meat. And so all we have to do is focus on what works. Hey man, this thing keeps falling back, trying to show you my dirty kitchen, and I will not have it. My dirt is my business, not to be shared with you. Oh no, what if a Scientology spy sees my dirty dishes? Wouldn't that be horrible? So all we have to do is when we go to Big Blue, we're just showing our face. We're just showing that I can walk down this sidewalk, I can film, and you can't do much about it because it's public property. And it's showing Scientologists that all it takes is one person with a phone like this and hordes, what remains of the hordes of the nasty cult members, they run away and they hide, and then they have to go through their tunnels instead of going above ground, and they get to enjoy their rat-like subterranean existence, and they have fewer and fewer people to steal money from. They have more and more. No, I'm not at Scientology right now, but I bet they're doing leaf blower, power washing, whatever. But remember, number one, Scientology's dying. They're losing members far more than they're gaining members. Number two, everybody in Scientology is under pressure. Okay, if you're Sea Org, you're under pressure to perform and get your stats up, and they're not going up for anybody. If you're staff and you're relying on making a living through commissions, you're not making many commissions. You're not making any money working for Scientology. Okay, yeah, the government is feeling the pressure. The LA city government, the police. How long can we be seen to be the lapdogs of this evil cult? Okay. And so everybody's under pressure that's on the wrong side of this. We do not need to feel that we are under pressure. I'm sorry if DOA feels pressure. I'm sorry if all the pressure that has been leading up to this moment, has gotten to be a little too intense. Um, but we don't need to, or some of these SPTV channels inside blue. Watch the channels. You see anybody inside blue? I don't think so. Um, yeah, Karen Bass got an earful. And of course, she's going to pretend like she doesn't notice. But of course, she notices. And of course, yeah, KT Peta, you're killing it with the typos today. Um, of course, they notice. Of course, they don't like it. When I went to Adam Schiff's office, um, they knew I was coming, and they were like, don't be filming. Meanwhile, they have cameras filming me. They wouldn't even let me in the damn office, right? So, yeah, there's phone calls are happening, letters are happening, and even if they weren't, okay, everybody in government or in the police force, they have family, they have friends, they have enough people that are watching this stuff on YouTube that they are being asked questions in their private life. Trust me, that is happening. And I almost never see anybody advocating for Scientology. Every now and then somebody will say, like, somebody came up the other day and they were like, how would you feel if that was your religion? Okay, first of all, I wouldn't really give a shit if somebody disagrees. And secondly, I don't really have a religion. Um, I don't believe in any religion. Um, and so I wouldn't really give a shit. Okay, but that person could just as easily be a Scientologist that's doing that. So I'm talking about like maybe 2 out of 100 people that have given me any feedback on what I'm doing have said something vaguely pro Scientology, but it was either accepting Scientology as a religion and thinking, oh, you're being mean to a religion. Okay, something like that, which I'm not too worried about because if they do their research, they'll figure that out that that's not happening. Yeah, so if we turn on each other to the point where we are not functional, that's the only thing that could go wrong with this. But don't worry, even if that went wrong, even if we all quit, there'd be another group that would replace us very quickly. Because remember, the accusation is we're only doing this for money. Okay? I haven't made shit compared to what I've spent. And if you do it by, if I were paid by the hour minus expenses, I'd be at about, minus $10 an hour. No, not that much. But I would definitely be in the negative. Okay. Some people are making money. DOA, sure. Right. So there's an investment here. But my point is not to say anything negative about making money from protesting. Right, exactly. Memberships are great. Um, Views, not so much. But my point is that since it is possible to make something, and since there is a bandwagon to jump onto, um, there is a reason um, for people to join up, to start doing this. And it doesn't mean it's fake. But you know what? I don't care if somebody just heard about Scientology for the first time yesterday, binged out on a bunch of our videos, and come out to join us today. Welcome. Please do. Okay. I would advocate for that person to educate themselves and to be on a path of continual education about Scientology. I think that would be a really good idea. But since we are not a group, we don't have rules like that. And everybody's welcome unless you're being an asshole. And then we'll say, please go do it over there a little farther away. And Captain Davy, that's right. So, like, everything is beautiful with this. Let's not get all over dramatic. Even if somebody gets a little over dramatic and you disagree with them, it's fine. Everything is beautiful. We are. It's my chair. It's not the kitty. Don't blame the kitty. But it's like I keep moving my chair backwards and then hitting that thing. Mini Panther, yeah. Like who? I'm not. I'll try to. I'll try to, but I'll see if I can find the kitty. But I will take a picture and put it as a post if I don't. No, you can't see behind there. It is horrendous. It is a sign of my inability to take care of myself adequately and keep my dishes washed and my kitchen in good order. And I will not show that to you people because you might be a spy and I'm paranoid about spies. No way you can see. I'll tell you what, I'll let you see behind there someday when it's clean. You know, that happens a few times a year. Never cross the streams. No, not an office area, a kitchen. So anyway, we are winning. Memorize that fact, please. We are definitely winning. Scientology, I would like them to think they're winning for a week, because then when the reality hits them again, my kitchen is my ruin, Magnus. You got that. I'm not like those ultra clean Swedes. That's why I couldn't make it in your country for long. You know, once I hit up against those rules, it was like, not gonna make it here. But my kitchen is just the beginning of my ruin. I wonder if Scientology could help me with that. I'm sure they could. They probably have some great anti-procrastination tech. Oh yeah, Don't visit me on short notice because, it's not going to be pretty. I definitely, you know, I'm not always like totally dirty, but I'm definitely sloppy. And I like cleanliness, but, I clean a bunch and it looks perfect. And then I drop the ball, for a while and it slowly goes back. And then I do a massive cleaning, throw out 10 bags of garbage at a time and whatever, and then it goes back again. So that's me. I'm honest. Okay, Scientology, you don't need to send a spy to find that out. I outed myself for my slovenliness. Um, so, look, everybody in this movement, what about tunnels? Look, we know Scientology has tunnels. So what? They got a tunnel. What is the suggestion to do about their tunnels? Like, if they're going to dig a new tunnel, it's going to be visible. We're going to know about it. There are going to be permits, whatever. But what are they going to do with a tunnel that they're not already doing? I fail to understand the significance of tunnels. We'll scan the road. Okay. Holland has a tunnel. Okay. And so does Lincoln. Okay. KT PETA knows something about New York. Okay. What I want to know, and I haven't heard a lot of DOA stuff about tunnels, okay? But I guess he decided now it's all about tunnels. I disagree, okay? If Scientology wants to have a tunnel to everywhere, then whatever. I'm not real, or who's not real? AK girl. So what? They have a tunnel, okay? Whatever they're doing in Big Blue is evil enough. If they take it through a tunnel to another building, it's the same evil shit in this building, in the tunnel, and in this building. So what's the significance of, if they're using child labor? Yeah, if we could get them, if we can prove that they have I know, yes, but I used to take the ferry to Malmö or the train between Helsingborg and Helsingör. And okay, Ganja Girl, so there's no permit and they're digging a tunnel and we can report them and then they can't dig the tunnel. Cool. Okay, great. It's a technical way to get them. I'm all for that. I don't think it takes a lot of effort to do that because, like, the amount of dirt that they have to move to create a tunnel, right? I get it. It's like how they got the mobsters on tax stuff, right? Cool. Yeah. But, like, if we can get them on a technicality, look, the thing is, they've already paid off the politicians and the police. A strange attitude for a protester? No, my protest is against Scientology. I agree if we can find that they are illegally digging tunnels, then good. Drop that dime, turn them in, get them busted, great. I just wouldn't want all of us to put all of our focus onto tunnels, right? If there's a way to find that they're breaking a regulation and they're making a tunnel, I'm all for that. I'm not saying forget about it, let them do it. I'm just saying I don't think it, like to get them busted, yeah, okay. To rat them out on breaking the law, sure, of course. But to imagine that it's a whole other level of evil that we're exposing, show me. Show me show me the theory. I haven't seen it yet. I'm open-minded, okay? I'm not criticizing anybody's theories. I just don't I can't have tunnel vision. um I just think it could be a distraction from what's really important. Um, yeah, if we could find that Scientology is illegally digging tunnels against the law under Fountain Avenue, whatever, that would be good for the news. Um, Called the city, got the permit numbers, and there were power lines or light lines. Okay. Um, L. Ron Hubbard and Fountain Avenue at the apartment. Yeah. So again, if we can get Scientology busted for illegally digging tunnels, I'm all for it. I'm not criticizing that. I'm not saying, but the kids, their tunnels are not required to for their human trafficking. Okay, they have a lot of ways to do that, and I just don't think that. No, I mean nobody's excusing child trafficking. We already know they're doing that, and they already are hiding it at Big Blue. I mean, all they have to do is send all the children anywhere that there are not a bunch of protesters, and then they don't need a bunch of tunnels. I just don't think tunnels are the biggest thing. Right, trafficking has already been established, like Chichikan has just said. So we know they're doing trafficking. We know they have kids in there. Um, we already know they have tunnels, yes. Um, all I'm saying, AK girl, is that I don't think it should be the main focus. Okay? Planters are probably going to have dirt in them, and that dirt might come from tunnels. And, but, so many people have been hanging out there. Right. Anybody that wants to investigate that, fine. We come back to the WASP theory. Okay? If all the wasps are focused on tunnels, that's all the wasps being in their hive. And all you got to do is spray that one hive and you get all the wasps. If certain wasps are focused on the tunnels, other wasps are focused on flyers, other ones are focused on on different things. Okay. Okay, Happy Peony, maybe. I'm not saying the tunnel stuff is false. Um, yeah, we can agree. It's like I can disagree with certain people, and I can still have my love in my heart, right? And the affection that I have for DOA ain't going nowhere. Okay. Um, and whether the tunnels should be the main focus or not, whatever, I don't know. It's not my main focus. Okay. If it should be and I'm fucking up, then label me as a fuck up. I don't mind. Okay. It won't be the first time. Um, I think there could be tunnels everywhere. But to me, tunnels is just a sign of weakness in Scientology. It's something to laugh at. It's a reason that they, um, no, just because people disagree doesn't make them bad or wrong. Just because people, yeah, we got to keep our eyes on the prize, Jay Young. Exactly. And the prize to me is informing the world about Scientology. Okay. Number one, it's not even about Scientologists themselves. Because if they get no new people, they will die out. Right. Stopping the recruiting, and that is the best way. That's the most success that we've had. If there are tunnels, it proves they are not dauntless nor defiant. They cannot communicate the universal solvent exactly. Okay. So the tunnels to me are just like, well, they don't want to use the slave vans. I'd be proud if they found a tunnel too. Absolutely. I would love that. Okay. But the fact that they have to use those vans because they can't let people walk a quarter of a block, a third of a block between AOLA and their slavery hotel. Okay. And they got to put them in a van. And then they decide, well, let's have tunnels so they don't have to go in the van. Okay. Um, so they go through a tunnel instead of the van. It doesn't really impact me that much. If they want to hide a kid, they can hide them in the van or they can hide them in the tunnel. Okay. Like I said, if we could get them busted for illegally digging a tunnel, that's a whole other thing. I'm all for that. I support anybody that would make that happen. Um, yeah, the real horrors are what happens in the building. The tunnels are just a way to get to the building for the horrors to happen. But yeah, if they could find a tunnel, it's an illegal thing. Obviously, they were trying to put cement in there. I was there when that was happening. Okay, and when it got stopped, it was a beautiful moment. I live streamed it. It was very fun. Okay. Um, oh, that's why you keep retracting because it's voice to text. I get it. Okay. Um, and so, yeah, it's like I saw them trying to do cement. So there is, right, they find a tunnel and then they say, see, there's a tunnel. And they also had rebar delivered. Yeah. Look, I'm not. Do I sound like somebody who's up here like there are no tunnels? Don't talk about tunnels. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's this meme that seems to have gotten a little beyond where I would take it. Okay. If Henry gets out there with his machine and finds the tunnel, and if the city is notified and the city comes in and says, hey, you can't have a tunnel here, and here's a huge fine, beautiful. I hope it happens. Okay. I hope that DOA is vindicated in the tunnel theory. Okay. It's all beautiful. We don't need to fight about tunnels. Let's just call it not my department. Okay. I'm not like Henry, whatever kind of structural engineer dude he is. I wouldn't know what the hell I'm looking at if I saw that, saw plans for a tunnel or whatever. Yeah, they're probably in the sewer tunnel anyway. That's where they belong. Down there with the sewage. So anyway, I'm not going to really be talking about tunnels, okay? Other people can fulfill your need for tunnel discussion in the future. I will just, if there's a big development about tunnels, I want to know about it. Absolutely. And maybe I would even have a comment at that point. But for now, whatever. I assume anything going on in Scientology is either totally lame or totally evil, and probably a combination of the two. That's what's happening in Scientology: lameness and evil. That's what we're here to stop. Lameness and evil do not require a tunnel, do not require a building, do not require much at all. But Scientology has tunnels and buildings in which to contain their lameness and their evil. So, whoever wants to focus on the tunnel as the locale for the evil, please do. And I await your reportage. And I will focus on the lameness and evil elsewhere. And what I propose is that we get back to basics. And basics is at the Hollywood Testing Center. And I'm not saying everybody, and I'm not trying to create a group thing, but I'm saying there are people all day long, 24/7, walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and they come from every area of the earth. And that is a force multiplier. I don't know that they are recruiting. I've heard that they go out in plain clothes every now and then and recruit. Another place I've heard them and seen them recruiting on other streams is what the hell's the name of that park? I just had it in my brain, and MacArthur Park. And so, we need to go to where they're recruiting, and we need to go to we need to reach out to people that don't know about it already. And there's no better way to do that, in my opinion, at a Scientology location. You're right, Adam. And what we really need, you guys, more than anything, is one pro bono lawyer that is eager to spend many, many, many working hours helping us. We need that person that can get in there and file motions and whatever the hell lawyers do, that can keep up with all the Scientology tricks and file an injunction and file a slap whatever request or whatever it's called. We need legal representation more than we need anything else. Oh, cool. Yeah, right. So, lawyers have been reached out to. Beautiful. Illegal team. Yeah, I like the way that yeah, that could be a human rights leader. A legal, yes. But we need that person that we could say, hey, Scientology just put all this netting on the easement. Can we file an emergency injunction to make them take that away? And then Scientology has to come and pull up the stakes and take it away the next day. Okay? We need that tit for tat legal representation. Okay? Because what we want is we want all the people on Scientology's side to be annoyed with them and not want to help them anymore. Like the cops, right? Like in the beginning of my journey on this, one thing I loved was when Streets, I think you're not wrong, new name, when Streets would have the cops on the live stream and say, your neighbors are watching this, your kids are watching this. That would be a good idea, bitch Marisker. Um, our lawyer friend Zach could definitely tell us how to do that. Let's all send him emails and bug the shit out of him. Um, so, but yeah, we got to find out the procedure. But what I'm thinking is there has to be a lawyer that's pissed off at Scientology, that's rich, that has time to maybe a retired judge. Hey, any retired judges out there? That's what we need. We need a retired judge who was a prosecutor before that. Okay. And now just has time on his hands and he doesn't really want to hang out at, in Florida or whatever retire people do. And yeah, get Judge Mathis on this. Okay, so we need, maybe Judge Judy wants to come. Could you imagine if we had Judge Judy filing shit like every day against Scientology down at the courthouse? Let's make that happen, people. Okay, Judge Judy for anti-Scientology. She's rich. She had that TV show. Does she still have a TV show? I don't know. But anyway, we need somebody like that. Somebody that can like give it back. Right. Barry, yeah, right. I saw him when Aaron was in there. Barry, what's his Graham Barry? Yeah, yeah. So, if we could get a judge that hasn't been featured in Freedom magazine. Damn, yes, but you're very good with knowing all the reference. Yeah, a TV judge. Yeah. Well, it's not nothing is the answer. See, that retired judge or lawyer that's working on our behalf is just another WASP. Maybe with a force multiplier WASP, with the force of 10 WASPs, whatever. But nothing is the whole thing. Okay. We can get this entire thing shut down and they can still run on fumes for years because they have the whales, they have the reserves. And if they really got in a tough spot, they could just start selling real estate holdings. I mean, if you think about it in LA, they could sell every Scientology location except for one. And that one remaining one would still be empty. Okay? If they sold Big Blue, if they sold Hollywood Ivar, if they sold Valley Org and Pasadena and Santa Ana and whatever, and they moved it all into the Hollywood Testing Center building, it would still be empty. So they could do that, and they could run off of that money for decades. Those buildings are valuable. And so, yeah. So we're not going to shut them down because this one thing or that one thing or that one thing. No, it's going to be the death from 1,000 cuts. And that's why we don't all need to get together and all have our hands on that one same machete. Well, yeah, I agree about educating the whales. Absolutely. Let's do that. But I think the whales will be educated by this. The whales will say, hey, David Miscavige, why aren't you ending this SPTV thing? And David Miscavige will say, we have a plan. That's why we're doing it. We're totally doing it. It's happening. And then when it doesn't happen, okay, the whales are business people. They are used to deliverables. Um, okay, we need to ask rather than that's a really good point, Marisker. We need to ask them rather than wait for them. Yeah, that. I've been saying this shit for a long time, but you straighten my ass out. I am straightened. That is such a damn good point. Why didn't I think of that? I'm feeling dumb right now. Of course, they can't just come out of the woodwork offering their services. I get it. But although I don't know the ethics if they're offering pro bono, that might be a little different than pitching themselves for money. But that is really good. No, the thing is, what we have to understand is behind the scenes, things are souring, as they have to be when they keep failing over and over. And when the whales keep getting disrespected by David Miscavige. I mean, wasn't it in Austin? I believe it was in Austin. Oh, good. Ask, please. Yeah, yeah, Chi. Okay. From what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but here's my understanding of Austin. Maybe it was Chicago, but I think it was Austin. The whales, and I think there was something like that in Paris too. The whales were promised some fancy dinner with David Miscavige. And what they ended up getting was Chipotle in the parking lot. No David Miscavige. Okay. And maybe those weren't the ultra whales, but those were people that donated to the Ideal Org. Um, the whales are being disrespected, but a lot of the whales are business people that know how to read a balance sheet, that know how to evaluate the successes or failures of a business. Um, you've been getting so many spam calls, so you answer with the clear cognition. So you emailed something. Um, no, not too soon for a good investigative journalist. Just put them on the story. I mean, um, it's not too soon for any wasp to come. Yeah. So I didn't see the email address that DOA wanted people to email. But any of this, like everybody needs to do this or that, that goes against the individual WASP theory of attackology. So you were thinking about if all the people in all the chats harass the media. Well, it's not harassment to let the media know and to say, why aren't you guys covering this story? This is a huge story. This is kind of weird. Are you guys into Scientology or something? Um, yeah, I'm not doing any background checks. I'm not submitting myself for whatever. You got a question? Ask me. If I don't want to answer, I'll say I'm not answering that one. Um, and like Aaron showed us, you don't have to leave the home to have an impact about Scientology. People are watching videos about Scientology all day long. sptv.space proves that and is an invaluable resource for that. And I mean, we have to do something, but like I said, all we have to do at Big Blue is have one person walking around filming and they all go hide. That's all that is really required. Now, if two people go together so they can have each other's backs, even better. And beyond that, great, beautiful, no problem with it, but it's not necessary. Okay? It's not necessary. Look, fear is like a magnet for negativity and bad decision making. And okay, so the person with the complaint has to be the one to talk to the lawyer. Yeah, okay. Well, somebody who is facing off with Scientology in court, then that needs to be, yeah, I think it was Austin. That needs to be the person. We can all try to find that lawyer, okay? But that lawyer has to represent somebody with an ongoing case against Scientology, or Scientology has a case against them. And then that lawyer could end up being a resource for everybody. And I don't know how that works, if that's a conflict or whatever. What I'm saying is we need that one lawyer that just knows how to file those motions, emergency motion to compel, blah, blah, just that kind of stuff. We need a fund, we need a legal fund, we need a lawyer. I mean, the lawyer needs to have the money to file the motion. That does cost money. Yeah, ask them. Ask anybody, okay? We can't all do everything, but what I'm saying is just, I'm sitting here strategizing, okay? I'm not the best implementer of strategy, but I'm a good, brainstormer of strategies. And so if we have a lawyer and we can take care of things like tunnels, or that's a good point about Graham. Graham Barry, yeah. And maybe he can't help without anybody asking. So that's interesting. I think we need to reach out to Aaron. Aaron has the connect with him. But that might be true, new name. I haven't, the Audit LA lady. Okay, yeah, the community meetings, yeah. So we need to keep coming from different directions. We need to be unpredictable. Battle Creek, Michigan, 6 p.m. opening. Okay. That'll be another fail, another flunk, but interesting. So people in Michigan or anywhere near, please go check it out, film it, upload it, or send it to us. Audit LA is awesome. I was just watching the thing with, going down during the children's festival going down L. Ron Hubbard Way. Um, yeah, see if you can talk to Graham Barry. That would be awesome. And the thing is, like, yeah, okay, so maybe we do have to ask for lawyers. And I think with a lot of the big white shoe law firms, they require people to do a certain amount of pro bono. So maybe we can get in on that. No, I do not do the Morongo Casino commercial voiceover. I wish I could use that kind of voiceover cash nowadays. That would be a beautiful thing. I should be. Yeah, I know. I need to make a demo tape for voiceovers and get it out there. But every time I've looked up voiceover stuff, I just get all kinds of spammy crap. Contingency, not pro bono. Sorry. Well, is it contingency where you got to pay later or something, or you got to pay up against whatever they get? So if we sue them and we win, then they would get something. Yeah, that would be. I could do ringtones. Yeah, they take a percentage. Well, the thing is, a lot of these things aren't going to generate income. I mean, if we do some injunction against them messing with the easement by putting up these things, um, that's not going to be something that we can get money off of. But yeah, maybe there could be a thing where, like any of those things where we do get money, it's contingent. Anything that is not something where we're actually suing for money, because if you're just suing them to stop doing something, we don't have a right to ask for financial damages. If we could say, well, sue them to stop the building of a tunnel, right? We can't claim damages because they're building a tunnel. Now maybe the city can or whatever, fine, and we can alert the authorities. Um, okay, Battle Creek, Michigan, only 600 kilometers south of Toronto. Yeah, well, that's a bit of a drive. Um, right, freedom of speech damages under conspiracy. Good. Yeah. Okay. Racketeering, conspiracy to shut down freedom of speech as a criminal organization, and yeah, whatever. Um, right. Sue the city. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, it would be great PR for the lawyer. It would be notoriety. It would be international notoriety. Do you hear me, lawyers out there? You want to be famous? We could help you. Do you want to be one of those talking head lawyers that gets on TV shows and all that? We could help you. Okay, we can make a name for you because all you got to do is jump on the bandwagon of anti-Scientology protests, and there's a whole market waiting for you, lawyers. Um, yeah, well, I wouldn't be the one doing the math, Chi. Um, I am the grand strategist. I leave the details to others. I can't even clean my kitchen. Okay, I'm not Mr. Detail here. But I do have a good legal mind for looking things over, for sure. So anyway, true, but nothing life is easy worth fighting for. Yeah, there's plenty of evidence. Right, civil rights attorneys, exactly. Um, yeah, statistics was my downfall in my lowest grade in undergrad and graduate school statistics. Um, yeah, that definitely messed up my GPA a little bit from the pristine heights that it had reached. Um, that was the drag on the GPA. But anyway, let me just sum up here. There's nothing to worry about. We're winning. Yes, there will be spies. Have no fear. We're on the right side of history here. Okay? And Scientology is going to do all kinds of crap. Okay? A dying animal lashes out. It's a rule of nature. And Scientology, as a cultish organization, is the ultimate dying animal. And the more they lash out, the more they show their weakness and the fact that they are on their deathbed. They are having their death spasms as we speak. Okay? All of their theories are being disproven every day. Are they the masters at communicating? No. F Sciento, right. Are they the experts on mental health? Hell no. Are they able to shatter suppression? No. They can't communicate. They can't handle anybody that disagrees with them. They run and hide at the mere sight of a protester filming them. They all see what's happening. They're all doing it together. It's very clear what's going on. Nobody can hide from this fact. So Scientologists are living in this world where they are all pretending that everything's fine. And yeah, please like. Thanks, Chi. And thank you, KT. They're all pretending it's fine until the day they leave. And that day is coming for most of them. The only ones that will be remaining at some point are people too old with no other options, and maybe a few crazy people that really drank the damn Kool-Aid. Everybody else is going to be gone, and it's going down, okay? All we got to do is stick together, but not too much. Don't bunch up, people. You make a more attractive target. Scatter. Okay? Do your kamikaze raid, but stay safe. Okay? We're not going all the way with the kamikaze analogy. Yeah, they're now moving into gardening. Okay? They fail at everything, and there's only so long you can bullshit about that. If you have a TV station, okay, you can see what the ratings are. And Scientology does not have good ratings on any level. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. More later. Bye-bye.